oh my God, Michael Bisping, John Anik, all those guys, they're just licking Dana's butt.
Why are you gay?
And they're just company men and just trying to back the company by whatever they do because of their job. Is it true? In this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
This mumbling that I just did is what you hear a lot in the comments. I just take Michael Bisping as a prime example because he talks about it a lot himself. He has a podcast, the Believe You Me podcast, which I thoroughly enjoy, and he there talks about all things MMA, right? Also non-MMA, but let's just focus on the MMA part. And obviously, if you have a podcast, your job is to give your opinion on things that are going on in the MMA world, right? And of course, sometimes some things that the UFC does are controversial for some fans, or people have different opinions on it, and he gives his opinion. And what you have to see is, as soon as you are the number one somewhere,
as far as I'm concerned, I'm number one.
You are insanely successful. You're the number one, you're the leader in whatever you do. If you're a person or a company, it doesn't really matter. People, even though they watch your stuff, will always search for negative things. People, especially people that do not really have any success in their own life, in their own realm, love to pick little knots that you do wrong or not do perfect and shit on you on with this. It's just a fact. Whether you personally are a person like that, which I don't hope for yourself because it's definitely not good for your own psyche, but hey, if you are that person, then look in the mirror and at least reflect and acknowledge that.
You are the man.
This thing is a real issue, a real thing, right? You see it online all the time. Someone does this, if Conor does the slightest mistake, and I don't say he only does slight mistakes, he does the slightest thing that's not perfect, people are hating on him all over the internet, acting like he's some kind of, I don't know, satanistic, whatever. You know what I mean? And the same with the UFC. The UFC is the worldwide leader by far in what they do. And people will always find things that the UFC does not do perfect and act like it's the end of the world. Fighter pay, for example. I think I did a whole video about this once. Check it out. I won't give you a whole breakdown now again. Let's just take fighter pay as an example, or you have several examples. You can take UFC 300 card as an example, where I also did a video about it. Spoiled MMA fans are just like, oh, this is shit card. $299, $298 are both better, which I don't agree on, even though they're both phenomenal cards. Instead of saying, hey, damn man, look at that. They have $298 and $299 completely stacked. Stacked to the gills. Like every MMA fan's dream. Plus 300 is also an amazing card, which in my opinion is even one step higher. Every freaking fight, and I'm not quoting Dana White here, but it's just true, every fight on that card could be a main event. Maybe Bo Nickel, Cody Brundage. On a fight night though, yeah, on a fight night. Bo Nickel at least. Every fight in this card could be a headline. And people are so spoiled and are still hating on it. But then are praising Bellator for making, or PFL for making PFL against Bellator with 50-year-old retired UFC fighters fighting each other.
You look like a 50-year-old retired skateboarder.
And then Michael Bisping says the same thing that I'm saying now, and I am not affiliated to the UFC at all. I don't earn a penny from the UFC. They don't even know I exist. Not yet. Hopefully one day they will know. At least they know who it game. Like, I don't gain anything from. I'll probably lose views by not hating on the UFC, because people love to see you hate on the UFC, right? That's why the MMA GURU, I won't say his name, is a little weasel, gets so many views and stuff, because he's just shitting on everything. People love to watch negativity. And Bisping just says his honest opinion. And of course, if you work for a company and the company gave you your whole fortune, your whole, like, Bisping is able to live a rich life, even though he probably won't acknowledge it, because of this company. If the UFC doesn't exist, Bisping will probably still be successful as a fighter, but he would not be who he is nowadays. He would not be commentating. He will not have all the things he has. So of course, you are very grateful for that and will back that company. But Bisping, if something is not perfect, would say it. Or something is very bad, he would say it. But just because Bisping backs a company that is the world leader and does so many things right and a few things maybe not perfect, which is completely normally can't be perfect, doesn't make him and I don't know why this is a negative word, a company man. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. Just because he's backing the company by not talking trash about it doesn't mean he's licking Dana's butt. He's just being honest and being truthful. I myself say the same things as Bisping, and I can't be a company man because I don't work for the UFC. You get where I'm trying to go here? So I just can't stand when people online are crying about like, oh, you're just saying this because you work for the UFC, oh, you're just this and that. You're just saying what you say because you're a little degenerate hater. And of course, sometimes there are things that the UFC f***s up on that we can mention. And is it possible that maybe Michael Bisping then doesn't mention it as briefly as a independent YouTuber would? Yeah, of course. But he never says that it's good. He never, ever tried to talk anything nicely, like tried to talk anything or make anything look positive that the UFC really f***ed up on, which is kind of rare anyways, that the UFC really f***s up on something. He just then maybe mentions it on the side and says, yeah, that maybe wasn't perfect, but obviously doesn't shit on it. Why would you shit on your own house? It doesn't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? Like if your wife, for example,
your wife is your husband,
does something shitty. Your wife or your best friend, let's take your best friend. Your best friend, I don't know, robs someone, which is a shitty thing to do. You will say, hey, that was not cool. You'll probably say to him in private because that's the most valuable thing. You'll say, hey, that's not cool. But you will not do 5 videos about it shitting on your best friend because that's what a little snitch would do, a little weasel would do. And I know best friend and company might not be exactly the same, but it's kind of similar because the UFC, as I said, gave him his whole life fortune. They gave him everything he has. You understand it? I hope I went deep enough for you to understand what I'm trying to say here.
It was deep, very deep.
And I hope you took that with you and you see now why Bisping has no business shitting on the UFC and why he's not in a negative form a company man just because he doesn't shit on the UFC and doesn't say everything that the UFC does is shit, and just because you hate it, he has to hate it. You know what I mean? So this is my opinion. And write your opinion in the comments, guys. Am I just, I don't know, on Dana's speed dial and he asked me to do this video? Write it in the comments, guys. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, would appreciate that. Make sure to check out the Bloodsport merch, bloodshop.net, link in bio, worldwide free shipping. Stay bloody, guys, and until the next one. Bye-bye. Bloodsport out.